Well, the Hurricanes have been accused of not playing anybody yet. Well, they have now. They've just played the Blues, who, at the start of this game, were looking the decent team, second best team on the comp, on the ladder. And they've just been absolutely dealt to by the Hurricanes. 42 points to 19. It is a 6 tries to 3 bonus point win for the Canes. And it pains me to say this as a Blues fan, but this game was not even close. There are some pretty incredible stats. If you're a Canes fan, some of them will be happy reading. There's one stat which is the most incredible stat I think I've seen in a number of years in terms of penalties, but I'll get to that in a second. But ultimately, the Canes put the Blues to the sword. It's a deserved win all round. Blues can have no complaints about that result whatsoever. If anything, we're probably lucky we didn't concede 50. Honestly, the Canes could have quite easily put 50 on the Blues in this one. We'll go through the key events. We'll go through some stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts. You may have noticed a number of the Blues guys had bleached their hair blonde. This was not a fashion statement by the Blues players. It was the team showing unity and support for one of their teammates who's recently retired from rugby, Cameron Suafoa, with a terminal cancer diagnosis. So they were getting behind him rather than anything else. So before you get in and lay a bit of the extra boot in on their fashion choices, it was all for a very good reason for poor Cameron Suafoa, who a lot of people are thinking of at a very tough time in his life. But the boys did that for him. But it didn't help in terms of their performances, sadly. Like, I was kind of hoping maybe the boys, with that inspirational story, can pull one off for him. But no, not to be. The Hurricanes were pressuring from the get-go. I mean, the Blues' initial kickoff goes out on the full. Both teams did that. The start of each half, both teams kicked out on the full. But the Hurricanes' early pressure, it took all of 4 minutes for Harkin to get on the board. He was just gliding. Cody Vai couldn't get near him. Wide ball after a Canes line-out. Glides through. It is 7 points to 0 for the Canes early. They kick all their conversion to this one. The Blues can't get any ball and they can't get out of their own half. If not for some Canes knock-ons, the scoreline has already blown out to more than just the 7. They missed some chances early on. They did take a second one. It took until 13 minutes for Proctor to get himself on the board. The pressure was coming. He had a wee kind of show and go after a line-out play through the forwards. So the forwards set it up. The backs finish it off, and we're 14 points to 0 in. And it's looking like it's going to be a very long day at the office for the Blues. But they did have their best kind of patch in the game where they came back and scored 2 tries in reply. So the Blues, I figured, man, if we're only 7-0 down despite having 30% possession in territory, we'll have a time. We'll have a time where we'll get some points. Maybe we can get ourselves back into the game. And we did. We absolutely did. First 22 entry. Good pressure on the kick chase. Means the Blues, I think it was Harkin, who was kind of chased back, fielding a kick. So the Blues get an attacking line out in Hurricanes territory. Line out, maul, forwards go through their phases, and then Lamb goes through the gap. 14 points to 7. Hey, Blues are suddenly in the game. Basically like a one-shot, one-try kind of performance there. And then they get the second. It's a bit of a scrappy bounce pass out to the left, but sometimes those bounce passes just cause enough hesitation in defensive lines. It's kind of what works here. The hands do go wide. There's like a one-handed pass from the Blues guys. There's a quick pass. I think it's Cody Vai with the very quick hands. Zahn Sullivan with a wee swerving run, and then Caleb Clark, a hell of a finish. Highlight reel worthy finish from Caleb Clark in the corner. If you haven't seen it, definitely go up and look that try up because it was good. Whineanganoffo's one maybe was a bit better a bit later, but this was a hell of a finish. In terms of a diving wingers finish, it's great. Conversion is missed, but it's 14-12. Suddenly we're back to game on. The Blues have had way less ball, way less territory, but we're only 2 points behind. I'll take that at that point of the game. Although, that being said, we did see the wonder try from Fahey. How the heck he did that, I don't really know. The first real chance back down the Blues end, they get Roygaard, who is such a strong ball carrier at halfback. Is he the best halfback in the world at that right now? He's very, very good at just bursting through tackles for a guy who's not supposed to be in the kind of biggest ball carrying position. I know a sniper's a snipe, but he just goes through players. Great carry over the advantage line from him, beats some defenders, and then Feki, he's covered. He's covered by the Blues defenders, but his steps and his power see him get over the line. There's like 3 or 4 Blues defenders who are made to look pretty poor by his try. It is a hell of a try. As I said, it's maybe a better finish in terms of like, nah, he's not getting that. He actually did it. Unbelievable stuff from Suafoa. It's a shame he's leaving at the end of the season, but 21-12 at halftime. The Canes are deserved leaders. They've had 60% territory, 55% possession. They've had double the line breaks, 6-3. They've beaten more defenders. The amazing stat is that in the first half, we've only had 1 penalty conceded. 1. That is the fewest I have seen, I swear, by a mile. By a mile. It's usually, I don't know, 5, 7, maybe 10 if a team is really getting pinged. Like, you're expecting to be, across both teams, probably close to double digits. If it's less than 10 penalties in the first half, you're at a low penalty count game. To have 1 is beyond ridiculously low. So, great. Great, though. You don't like seeing the game get blown up every 5 minutes, so we certainly didn't have that in this game. Second half starts a bit scrappier than the first. Restart was also out on the full from the Canes. They did get the maul going eventually, just as the game was looking to kind of find its feet. Suafoa, he's an absolute wrecking ball. He powers over for a try to make it 28 points to 12. And I'm thinking that's probably game. But if the Blues score next, maybe. And we do get our chance because that man, Suafoa, who scored that wonder try earlier, gets yellow carded for a high shot on Mason Tupaia. And it came at a good time for the Blues because we were kind of starting to get under the pump a wee bit, and the Blues punished. Punished immediately. They get the line out. First carry up the guts, and then the second carry, Malachi Rampling. Great try from him with a bit of power. I don't think the Canes defenders will be very happy with that one. But 28 points to 19 is close enough to still be a game. But that's the final scoring of the Blues, and we did not take any more advantage of that yellow card period. In fact, the Blues were on the back foot. It was the Canes taking the game to the Blues despite the man disadvantage. They put on a huge phase count. Eventually, they get a try through Harkin right as the yellow card timer is about to expire. So they've got 0 seconds left on the yellow card counter, but there's still 14 men on the field. Harkin finishes it off 64 minutes. It's a bit of a scrappy try in terms of like it's pressure that pays off, but it's basically Ruben Love trying to put through a grubber which bounces off some legs, and Harkin's just the first man to react. And he's got the gas to go through. So great reaction times from him. Canes extend their lead, and I think that one is basically game. Then the Blues get caught in their own 22, just not bloody kicking a simple kick clear. You've seen it millions of times where the defense is trying to swarm the person in their own 22. They kind of swerve past the first on-rushing defender and then kick clear. Well, if you get caught, you get caught, and the Blues got caught here. So Ruben Love, from that resulting penalty, taps it, goes quickly. He powers over for a try. He deserved that based on his performance. So that makes it 42-19, which is getting pretty embarrassing. Isaiah Walker-Leawede, he's prone to a dumb decision, and he fulfills that destiny in this game when he gives away a stupid yellow card for a trip. But it's not going to affect the game because there's only 3 minutes to go and the game's well and dusted. But, I mean, it could have cost the team a bonus point on another day. The guy, at times, can be an absolute liability. I don't know what goes through his head, but he's a dumb player at times. Yeah. Final stats. Possession finishes 54-46. Territory 62-38. Both in favour of the Canes. They got a much better line out, 90% to the Blues 75. They got 8 line breaks to 5. They conceded half the penalties, 6-3. But they got 2 yellows. They literally conceded 3 penalties and had 2 yellow cards. One's the trip. That's a penalty, yellow card, cynical. One's a high shot, like shoulder to head. So 2 yellow cards from 3 penalties is nuts. I've never seen anything like that. The penalty count being 9 for the game is also quite nuts. Turnovers conceded is the big one. 23 by the Canes, 15 by the Blues. Honestly, that's why I said the Canes could have had 50 if they'd just dropped less ball. they left some points out there. They were the team in the ascendancy for basically the entire game, barring that little period where the Blues had that kind of comeback. Good performance. The Canes are the real deal, eh? Numia, 14 carries. Geordie Barrett, 13 carries. Rampling had 54 metres for the Blues. Harkin, a couple of line breaks. Karifi topped the tackle count with 19. Josh Berry had 16 for the Blues. Peter Lakai, 4 turnovers, 1. Dude was immense. But yeah, that's the game. Good win for the Hurricanes. The Blues are back home to the Highlanders next, which suddenly becomes a more pressurised game for the Blues in terms of needing to win that one to stay in the top 3. And the Hurricanes' tough run of games continues away to the Chiefs, but they will be filled with confidence based on this performance. You guys let us know your thoughts. Do you think the Canes are the real deal based on this? Or were the Blues kind of pretenders at number 2? You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.